Today we're gonna see what would happen if someone made a pet Pianosaurus and a prototype in real life. And guys, this was so scary, so make sure you guys stay all the way to the end to see the prototype. Oh, Pianosaurus. Okay, yeah, he definitely looks very dusty.
I was just playing an arcade machine. Nothing special, just a normal game.
Bro,
at
don't
the
touch
Playtime
the
factory. I pulled it
Wait,
once,
they have an arcade at the
and instead
factory?
of a cheap toy, an egg
Bro, is that
dropped into
actually
the
lore?
prize slot. Not plastic, not decorative, heavy, warm, too real. I stood there, staring at it longer than I should.
Wait, this is like a mini Pianosaurus. Oh, it's like an egg, right? I think it's gonna like hatch, maybe. Like I feel like it would hatch, and then like
heater, laid an old cloth beneath it.
We would see the Pianosaurus, right?
I turned it over.
That's what I kind of feel like.
Everything right. Every day I checked if it had grown colder, if a new crack had appeared. At night I thought it was moving.
Wait, it was moving?
Scratching like
bro, of
something
course it was
inside
moving.
was pressing against
It's
the
definitely
shell.
gonna like
One morning,
come out of the
I heard
shell
a
anytime
sound.
now.
I rushed over. The
Wait,
egg
it's gonna
was
be like a baby
already splitting
Pianosaurus,
open.
right?
The shell pulled apart slowly with effort, and then it crawled
there he is.
out. Small,
Bro, imagine if there was actually a
awkward,
baby
with a
Pianosaurus
mouth
in
shaped
Poppy
like a
Playtime.
piano. I started taking
That would
care
be
of
sick.
it. I fed it, and it ate, strangely, the keys in its mouth pressed down. I set an old out-of-tune
Bro, don't
piano
trust the
nearby,
Pianosaurus.
and
What if he turns on you,
I began to play
dude?
notes for it. I pressed a key. It repeated the sound, sometimes almost right, sometimes too loud. It grew fast, too fast.
Bro, what the
Within
heck
a
was that
week, it
thud,
could
dude? Like,
reach
that
the
was-
table. Within
was something.
two, it was breaking small things.
Oh, he was feeding
without
him cereal?
understanding its strength over time.
At the Playtime
Wait,
factory.
so
One
we're
night
back
I took
in the
home a box of
factory.
broken toys just to fix
Yeah,
them for
there
my
is a
little
bunch of
brother.
toys.
Something was assembling itself. I called it Prototype.
Oh.
Every day it grew bigger, stronger, smarter, until one
Huggy
morning
Wuggy,
it was
what the
gone,
heck?
and I
What were you
realized
doing
where
there,
it
dude?
went. Back to the factory, because it was never just a toy. It was
Oh,
an experiment.
nah, bro.
Experiment
IRL, this thing is way too
1006.
creepy, dude.
I worked at the Playtime Company factory. My shift usually started
This
in the
music
evening
is also
when most of the
terrifying, though.
employees had already gone home, and only a few workers remained inside the massive building. At night, the factory felt completely different. During the day, it was loud and bright. Conveyors were running, carts were moving around, and workers were constantly talking to each other. But at night, everything became quiet. The only
I
sounds
can't lie,
were the
bro.
distant
This is
hum of
actually hecka
ventilation
creepy.
and the occasional mechanical noise from machines still running somewhere in the building. My job was simple. I sorted defective toys. Some had a broken arm, some had torn fabric, some had a faulty mechanism. Sometimes they simply failed the testing process and were immediately sent to the defect department. At the end of my shift, I would take all of them to the recycling chute. There was a large metal shaft where boxes of
that
rejected
makes sense,
toys
I
were
guess.
dumped. After that, they were sent for recycling and nobody ever saw them again. That was how every day went. But that evening, I noticed a box I had never seen before. It stood slightly
what is
apart
this?
from the others. On the side of the box, there was a stamp.
Test?
Rejected Test Wing.
Oh.
I opened it.
Bro, so this is
Inside
where
were parts
everything
of
goes
toys.
wrong, right?
A piece of blue Huggy Wuggy fur. A broken Mommy Long Legs arm. The head of Kissy Missy. Several wires. And a strange metal frame. The frame didn't
Wait,
look
this
like
is
a
the
normal
prototype
toy
arm, right?
part. It looked more like an internal structure, something that belonged inside a more complicated mechanism. I don't know why, but suddenly I felt bad throwing it all away. My little brother's birthday was coming soon. I thought maybe I could build something from these parts.
No, bro.
Maybe
You're making
at
a
least
huge
one
mistake
working
here, my
toy.
guy.
At home, I
Do
had a
not
small
touch that
workshop.
thing, bro.
Nothing special. A work table, tools, a lamp, an old television. I placed the box on the table and started examining the parts.
This is where
Some of the
everything goes
mechanisms
wrong,
were
guys.
still working.
I swear.
I connected one small motor. It began to hum quietly. Then I found a small speaker module. When I powered it on, it played a recorded message.
What are you waiting for? Come visit the factory.
I immediately turned it off. Those messages always sounded unsettling. I continued working.
But I didn't know
Time passed
Prototype had a
quickly.
voice line.
When I
What?
finally looked at the clock, it was almost 2 in the morning. I was exhausted. So I left everything on the table and went to sleep.
Nah, this is
That
where
night, I had a
things-
strange dream.
Bro,
I was back inside
I'm just
the
waiting
factory,
for bro to
but it was
come
empty.
alive, dude.
The
This
lights
is gonna
flickered in
get
the hallways.
crazy.
Long shadows stretched across the walls. I heard footsteps, metallic ones, as if something was moving across the floor, assembling itself from different parts. Then
Yeah, this
I
definitely
heard a
sounds like the
voice,
Prototype,
very
if, like,
quiet,
we listen
through a
in, you know?
speaker. Prototype, ready? I woke up suddenly. The clock showed 7 in the morning. I immediately went to the workshop. The box was still on the table, but something was wrong. Most of the parts were gone. I stopped.
Wait, did he like move? Maybe he did. That's what I'm
moved.
thinking.
Wires were lying on the floor. One of my screwdrivers was no longer where I had left it. It looked as if someone had been working here during the night. I tried to remember.
Bro, the prototype is moving around at night, my guy.
Then I heard a sound. It was coming from the kitchen. I slowly walked toward the door.
Oh,
and looked
no
inside.
way, bro.
Something
The prototype is right there.
A small creature.
That is actually so terrifying, bro.
Toy parts. Blue, huggy fur,
bro, don't trust the thing, dude.
It
literally killed a bunch of Poppy Playtimes, bro.
Its body was supported by the metal frame I had seen in the box. In its hands was a rat, but it wasn't eating it. It was just watching it. When I stepped into the room,
it may look friendly, bro, but it ain't.
We looked at each other for several seconds. It didn't attack. It simply tilted its head slightly as if trying to understand who I was. I carefully took one step.
I can't even lie, bro. Baby prototype also looks scary.
It just made a quiet mechanical sound. I said, "Well, hello." The creature made another small sound. It almost sounded like a response. I guess I'll call you Prototype. From that day, everything changed.
He was built?
Every evening after work, I returned home and continued improving it.
There's no way. Yo, this looks way too scary.
Frame, added stronger joints, installed
it actually
new motors,
looks so realistic,
replaced
though.
weak parts with better ones. It watched me constantly, very carefully. Sometimes it even brought me parts.
Wait, so it was like building itself up. I do want to see like the final ending of like when the prototype grows up, guys, because like I feel like that'd be pretty interesting, you know?
One morning I found a metal arm lying near my door. It was clearly from the factory. I didn't ask where it came from. After a few days, it had grown larger.
Yeah, that is pretty
larger.
freaking big, bro.
Now
At least like 5 feet.
as tall as my waist. It moved faster. Its movements became smoother and more precise. Sometimes at night, I heard it walking through the apartment. It moved things around. Sometimes it carried parts from the
So it was
table,
building itself up
it
like the whole entire
when I
time.
was asleep.
I think.
One evening, I turned on the television.
Oh,
An
no.
old VHS tape was still inside the player. It was a training video from the factory. On the screen, Huggy Wuggy appeared. He spoke in his familiar, cheerful voice. "Remember, playtime toys never leave the factory." Prototype slowly turned its head toward the screen.
Oh,
It
what?
froze. Then
So he's
it
watching
walked
Huggy
closer.
Wuggy on the TV.
Its eye began to glow faintly. It reached out and touched the screen. The next morning, it was gone. I woke up and went straight to the workshop, but it wasn't there. I searched the entire apartment. Nothing. Only the workshop window was open. Cold air was coming inside. And immediately I understood where it might have gone. Back to the factory. That evening I returned there. The building had already been closed for a long time, but one of the doors was slightly open. Inside, everything was dark. I turned on my flashlight and walked through the familiar corridor. Dust covered
Bro, I
the
feel like
floor.
he's gonna show
My
up at
footsteps
any
echoed
time right now,
loudly.
dude. Like, I'm
Then
just waiting on
I
it,
heard
bro.
something.
It's about to get real
Metal.
scary.
Movement. I continued walking until I reached
Oh,
a large production
nah.
hall, and there I saw a massive shadow. Prototype stood in the center of the room. It had grown enormous. Its body was now made from dozens of parts, toy fragments, metal pieces.
Yo, this
wires,
is wild, guys.
mechanical
This
arms.
is actually
It
wild.
slowly turned toward me, and I realized something.
Bro, that phase, dude.
It was no longer the small creature from my kitchen. Then something even stranger happened. From the darkness, other toys began to
Wait,
appear.
is he like
broken
what if
ones,
he's like getting an
damaged
army
ones. They slowly
toys,
moved
guys?
toward it, as if they were drawn to it. Prototype raised one of its arms. The toys began attaching themselves to its body, one after another. As I watched, I suddenly understood something. I didn't create it. I only started the process. Suddenly, the factory
Oh,
speakers
nah,
turned
this is
on.
where things go
An old
wrong,
recorded
bro.
voice echoed through the building.
Bro, you made a big mistake.
Experiment 1006.
I don't know what you were thinking.
Active. Prototype looked at me. Its eye glowed brighter. It took one step. For a moment, I thought it would
Oh,
walk
nah.
toward me, but
He's
instead,
gonna
it
kill him,
walked
bro.
toward the
That's what
exit,
I'm guessing,
toward
right?
the factory doors. It